Hey YouTube, so we are at Little Mexico, Pennsylvania. This is where we have our seasonal site, and last week we did a video on the seasonal site. So this week we will do just like the campground itself will be the main focus. And so if you don't know our channel is mostly on camping and taking the Jeep out, and our Corgi obviously that you can see there in the frame. And it's kind of like our life and where we're going. So anyway, so this is a little kind of quick overview of what was in the last video showing off our seasonal site. And we have had a seasonal site here for 3 years. I think we're on the third year now. And so basically we just move sites, and there's this humongous river next to the campground. It actually divides the campground in half. Next to our side of the campground, the other side of the campground you can see is over there. So we will shortly be jumping in the Jeep, and we'll drive around the whole campground so you can see the whole thing, and I'll try to explain to you the campground the best that I can. This is seasonal also, and our campsite is right behind this one, kind of like you can see it. So on the left you can see they have a jumpy pad. There's a one-lane bridge, and this is the entrance to the campground right here. They have this wonderful bonfire, usually like right in front of the on the right hand side, where everybody can come and meet up. There's COVID going on, so I know like it's kind of like odd what they do with if we're doing it or not. The left side, that was a golf area. So the first area that you enter here, you can either go left or right, and we're on the right side right now. Later in the video we'll go left. The ones on both sides of us are seasonal for the first, say 10 or 15 or so. And then when you get to about a little bit farther, you finally get to ones that are nightly. So all those are seasonal, and they're very hard to get those seasonal ones because they're at the front entrance and they're very popular. And there's like a waiting list and everything to get on into those. So probably in here somewhere. Well, we'll say right here is where it all of a sudden transitions over to the premium ones. And the ones on the left are pull through. The ones on the right hand side are creek sites. And this is like the opening weekend that you're seeing the video for, even though it looks kind of empty. Probably by now, like most of this is all filled in. And then it transitions back to seasonal. So now we're probably back in the seasonal area. And the lake or the river is all the way down the entire right hand side. So every single one of these sites that we've passed, and we've probably passed at least 50 of them in a row, are all on the river. And then all the way up there, those are all on the river. All this is seasonal too. Up there past that red truck, that turns into nightly, and our side is right here on the left. It overlooks kind of like this big area. And then this is all nightly on the left, and all of these are full hookup, which is really nice. And that's just a big open field that they have there. There are a bunch of restrooms. Only one of them is set up for the winter time, and it's the one up there across from the pool. These are the cabins. They have a bunch of different cabins. The first one that you saw on the right was the original cabin, and then after that they added some more cabins. The left is seasonal again, and you'll find that people kind of like conjugate around their families and stuff. I think that is the largest cabin there. The red building up there on the right is a new building, and we'll talk about that area in a while. The right side is a large playground. They have these neat little areas where you can, like picnic areas, I guess you want to call them, where they have tables and stuff and set up with fire pits and stuff. Where, and this one right here is especially cool. It's a ring, and basically groups will rent out the entire ring of, where all the campers back into the center area. And the center area is this picnic area where they have a fire pit, and everybody just kind of conjugates like around all the campers. So it's kind of cool. Anyway, so the road on the right that you can see through the trees is that road that we just came down, and that's a bathroom that we passed, obviously, on the way. And the bathrooms are clean. They have showers and everything on there, hot water, cold water, all that kind of goodness. And the group that you see on the left, all these Class A's, they're here all the time. Like, I don't know like how often, but it seems like once a month they're here for a week. Like they are here a whole lot. So they really like this campground. That's a smaller one right there on the right. And all these on the right, I think you can get. Then now we're kind of getting back to the seasonal loop, and we'll drive back around the way that we already came, but I'll speed it up a little bit shortly so it's not quite so like time consuming. And once again, like I was saying, this is seasonal. So this place does have all kinds of stuff. They have basketball courts. They have stocked fishing lakes. They have the gigantic river next to the campground, or between the two campgrounds that they have. They have like the biggest pool in the world that's like above ground. So they have this humongous, awesome pool. And yeah, this is our site. So this is how you'd pull into to our site if you're just curious on how it looks. And so anyway, well, we will continue where we left off, and basically we will go around this time and go, I guess, a different path a little bit. So most of these roads are one way, and they do that on purpose, so it's easy to get in and easy to get out. And obviously they're one way intentionally because the roads are so narrow also. I mean, they're not like way super narrow, but obviously you wouldn't want to have like two Class A's like going down this road head to head or whatever, or two fifth wheels. So anyway, so we're gonna go up in this direction, and initially these first 2 or 3 are seasonal sites, but all the green space that you see back there I believe are not seasonal, especially the ones on the right hand side. I'm not 100% sure about the ones on the left, but I know you can see here that there are more creekside ones if you wanted to be like in the river. And then way back here in the corner, I think that's kind of like the party site. It's kind of more like a group kind of setup. Then up here in front of these cabins, it's basically like directly in front of us, kind of across from that restroom, is a tent only area. So there are a handful of sites that you'll see here, and these on the right is essentially a tent only area, which is kind of cool. So the river itself, what people do in the river is usually they set up tubes, and they tie the tubes to some rocks, and they take a cooler out there and they just kind of hang out and get drunk in the river basically all day. Is kind of the thing. The big field on the right that you can see, this is where they store campers in the wintertime. And then behind the red building that you see that we're coming up on is where the lakes are. They're back to the right. There's a couple of them. The red building is new. I have not been in the red building. One of the doors says pottery, and the other one says crafts. I think the first one's crafts and the second one's pottery. There's a pool right there on the right hand side. So obviously they do crafts and pottery and all kinds of stuff over the weekend, and they're fixing stuff up a little bit. On the right hand side, what we just passed is where they have horseshoes and basketball courts, and the left is obviously the main pavilion. They do bingo here also. There's laser tag on the right, and also the big bouncy pad where we came in at. And then we will go across the river shortly once we run through this little loop one more time to show you the other side. The entrance right here is normally gated. Inside there they have a store with all the normal stuff that you'd see in a campground. There's a little bit of food, some camping stuff, and once again there's a golf on the left. And then once you get past the first, like, say 10 or so, maybe like right here, these are the pull-throughs. So that fifth wheel that we're passing is somebody that's just pulled through, that is just going to be there for a couple of nights or whatever, a week or whatever period of time they're going to leave. And that's the main playground there on the left that we just passed. And then when you get to about right here, you get back to seasonal. So there's a lot of seasonal in this campground. But they do have what I would consider a reasonable amount of regular sites too. I mean, probably if I had to take a guess, maybe 200. I mean, because there's a lot here. That whole loop there, the circle, is seasonal. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's a lot. And you can see the playground there on the left again. So we will just pull back around and then head over to the other side. And like I was saying, the main point of this video was to share the campground itself, because I thought the other video was going to be too long if I included all of this with a setup of our site. The bathroom there on the left actually is also a laundry, and that is a heated one that they keep fully heated and running in the wintertime if you were to come here and try to camp in the wintertime. They typically, in the wintertime, are a lot more restrictive on the camping, and I think last season was the first season that they actually opened up. There's an arcade in there for kids if you want to go to an arcade. The white kind of building there has tubes in it that they rent out, and there is an entrance to the river right in front of us. They have propane too. Like I said, this place has like almost everything. So there's a river down there that you can walk down to, and I'm gonna speed it up because this is a little bit of driving. And then we'll slow back down just a hair when we actually get back to the campground. You can see the Pins Creek on the left. So this is the entrance to the other side of the campground. The road up there that you saw that kind of goes up and that's scenic is Little Mexico Road. And it's not maintained by the state, I guess. So like Google will tell you not to drive on it. But it's like the shortcut to get here. So that's just something to be kind of mindful of. But yeah, you go through this kind of foresty road, and you have to watch out for golf carts, obviously, because they're very popular here. And they also have a fleet of golf carts that they rent out. And this is the other side. There are far less amenities on this side, so we don't ever come to this side very often unless we're gonna come over here to visit some people. There is a picnic area. There's another picnic area on this side, and that's about all the amenities other than maybe a restroom on this side. The pool and the laundromat and everything else is like on the other side, on the side that we're on. And once again, like I was saying, this is the opening day, so this isn't like, a holiday weekend or anything when they're fully loaded up. And you can see that there's people that still haven't even pulled their campers out because there's one there that like has a cover on it. The left side is this really cool loop that goes along the river. And what is so cool about the left side over here is the campsites are actually parallel to the river. So what people will do is, you see the way that this truck is in front of us, they're lined up in the site, and the camper actually opens up facing the river. You'll see these fifth wheels, and I don't even know how they'll get them all in here. I kind of have an idea, but like somebody will pull one in, back it up, set it up, and then they'll back another one up right in front of it, and then back another one up in front of that, and you can't even get them out unless you get them out in the correct order or whatever. But they have this like kind of long train of all these campers that are all parallel to the river that are all opening up, and it's a kind of a cool group thing that I see that people do here all the time. So they do have a honey pot service too that we just passed. Some of the sites are not full hookup, typically the seasonal ones. Some of the seasonal ones are not full hookups, and they have that honey pot service where they go and they dump you for you. I don't know how many of the sites over here have hookups and how many of them don't. I just know about the side that we're on, and this is all seasonal back here where we're at. And obviously this is a little more secluded. So I mean, we're really pleased with the site that we have, and this will be the site that we have most of the summer. We still are going to travel around, and we still have plans to possibly go to Florida for the winter. We have a Michigan trip planned. We have a couple trips down to the beach planned again, same place as last year, most likely. But we'll find some new places to go also. But yeah, that's sort of this season. This season is a pretty chill season, mainly because we're still kind of getting over the whole COVID hump and everything like that. But we do have some exciting stuff in the works that we'll talk about, I guess, maybe in the next video, or maybe I'll dedicate a video to it or something. But as everybody knows, I mean, our goal has been to go full time, and the goal has been to sell a house. And it looks like that is coming up sooner than we originally kind of expected. So anyway, please like and subscribe. Basically, this is a campground, and this is basically the end of the seasonal area. And like I was saying, most of the camping on this side is along the creek side. So thank you, and we'll see you guys around.